This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor, coming live for the first time ever in the year 2020. And this is not going to be a very long session today, guys and girls. It's mainly to come online on the first working day that we are having here at AGV Services in the new year 2020. And I'm going to start off by wishing all of you a very, very wonderful Happy New Year. I hope all of you had fantastic celebrations, had a bit of a break, and were able to catch your breath and come back all rejuvenated. So here's hoping that all of you are back in the best of your health and cheer and spirits. And here's wishing all of you a wonderful 2020 from myself and the rest of my wonderful AJV team who are all back at work today. By the way, after we also took a 10-day break for Christmas and New Year. But here we are back again and live on Instagram, live on Facebook, and live on YouTube like every week. And anyway, today's session is not going to be very long, and it's mainly to say thank you for all the wonderful support we received from all of you in 2019, and we look forward to receiving the same support going forward in 2020 and the years to come. Well, it is the new year, and it is the time to make resolutions, and I'm sure a lot of you are making New Year resolutions, and I'm hoping some or all of you will also consider making New Zealand your resolution because we all aspire for a happy life. We all aspire for a peaceful life. We all aspire for a safe life. We all aspire for a place where we can thrive and grow and and call home. And there are many countries around the world which offer these kind of opportunities, and New Zealand is also one of them. Tucked away at the bottom of the earth in the South Pacific is this beautiful country called New Zealand, which is spreading its gates open and telling people to consider coming and making this country your home because like most developed nations, we also face a shortage of skilled migrants, and for our economy to continue to grow and for our own growth as as a country and as a society, we need to attract the best talent from different parts of the world, and that is the reason New Zealand has got a very active migration policy. And there are different pathways, of course. Just because we have an active migration policy does not mean that our gates are wide open and everybody can simply just walk into the country. Of course not. There are checks and balances put in place to ensure that we are only attracting the right sort of talent, and which is where people like myself and my team come into the picture as well, because we I am a licensed immigration advisor. I normally start my session, I say, oh, there we are. I normally start my session by showing my license to all our viewers on the different platforms. That's my license, which was issued by the government of New Zealand, which allows me to sit here and give all of you advice about moving to New Zealand. And besides myself, I also have four other colleagues on the team in AGV Services, and that is Mary, our senior manager and fellow licensed advisor, Tulika Mehra and Navya Sika and Sharon Gunnison, who are all licensed immigration advisors as well. And in 2020, I think we're going to add at least 6 to 8 more licensed advisors. So we are a team, well equipped with the knowledge and with the background to be able to suggest the best pathways to all the people who are desirous of coming to New Zealand. And immigration to any country is not an easy process, especially to a country like New Zealand, because over the last few years, we have been growing very, very strongly as a desired destination for people. So the amount of demand from people who want to come and make New Zealand their home is growing, practically week by week. And so the government needs to be careful and ensure that we balance the need of migrants wanting to come to New Zealand versus what exactly we need here in New Zealand. And of course, keeping in mind and being mindful of the desires and the needs of the local population as well. So which is where people like us can provide the right pathway to you, and we are a brutally honest organization. We are the kind of people who will tell you if you are, on the periphery, or you're on the right platform to be able to make an attempt at migrating to New Zealand, or if you're not, we will tell you pretty bluntly, and tell you that perhaps it's not the right thing for you to do, and not waste your money, time, and effort. All right, so that's the way it works, guys. And migration is not an easy thing. It starts off by which country do you need to choose, which is going to be the destination, and which is where we strongly pitch for New Zealand. We are 100% New Zealand focused, and we are very, very passionate about promoting New Zealand. And I tell it in practically every public broadcast of mine that we are extremely loyal to New Zealand, and we will not do anything that will hurt the interests of New Zealand. So what we are trying to do is, perform that perfect marriage of the needs of New Zealand versus the migrants with the right skills, sort of thing. And some of you will be able to come in as investors, some of you will be able to come in as entrepreneurs, some may be able to come in as skilled migrants, although that particular pathway has become, increasingly more difficult. But then there is always the fantastic, steady and settled pathway, which is working like a charm for many of our AJB clients. So or talk to us, and we will examine your profile and your background and see what is the best option for you. And like I told you, it is not an easy pathway. Whichever one you choose, and which is where you require the advice and the help and assistance of a professional organization like HEB. There are a lot of other companies, of course, which will talk to you about moving to New Zealand. And one thing that, of course, which I don't completely agree with, is that there are a lot of companies which only promote education, while most of you really are looking at education with migration. And that is something that we talk about all the time, because we want to cater to your actual need and not just give you something which is pretty much just a stepping stone in many instances towards your eventually goal. So we are an education and migration company. If anything, we are a migration company where education is also a component towards that eventual migration, and something that will benefit New Zealand, because we want to attract the right talent and also help clients like yourself. So speak to a company that is going to give you what you really want, which I think in most instances is that you really are desiring to migrate, and you're quite happy to take education as a pathway. And we are happy to discuss those opportunities with you. But we are also happy to discuss other opportunities like investments and entrepreneurs, and skilled migrant category, because while the door seems shut a little bit, there you still could possibly get something through that particular doorway, if you have the right number of points and stuff like that. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a long one, and in terms of my opening spiel today. But yeah, there are a few of our friends is always joining. And Hiren says, hello, sir. Happy New Year. Thanks, Hiren. Same to you. And I'll take this opportunity to also wish all of you, my wonderful team as well, Happy New Year. Of course, this morning we all went talking to each other and saying hey, Happy New Year to each other. But gang, big year for all of us. And I wish you all success as we join forces and take on the challenges of 2020. Jitin says, hello, everyone. My name is Jitin. I'm an AJB client. I have applied my visa on 12th of December. Well, when can I expect a call from immigration for visa interview? As my course starts on in Feb 2020. Hey, Jitin, if we've already filed your application, don't worry about it. Immigration department officers would have also taken a short break. They're, after all, human beings like you and I, and they need a break as well once in a while. And so they should be coming back in. But of course, knowing that February is a peak period for New Zealand, they will. I'm sure they've had some kind of staff still, looking at the application. So don't worry too much about it, Jitin. I'm sure you'll get your interview call. Maybe you will not get your interview call, because it's not mandatory that you always get an interview call from the immigration department. So sometimes if your case and all your documents are good, and which is what we at Asia we try to do, is we try to put in applications which are called decision ready. So if we, and I'm sure my wonderful team has put in a decision ready file for you as well. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. February is still more than a month away, and I'm sure it is between the middle to the end of February. So you almost have a month and a half. Not to worry, Jitin, but I will take this opportunity to thank you very much for choosing to work with AJV. Really appreciate all of you young, smart people who have the choice to choose anybody you want to work with, but you come back and work with a company like AJV, and for that we will always be grateful and assure you that we will give you our best support, our best advice, our best friendship, till such a time we are all in contact with each other. All right. So don't worry, Jitin. I'm sure I'm going to see you here in New Zealand. So okay, okay. Prashant Srinivas says house for dental graduates. Prashant has not left his number, guys. When I'm doing these live sessions, I'd like people to either clarify whether they are AJV clients or not. Because if you're, no problem, because I do these live sessions and my colleagues as well, essentially to cater to our AJV clients. But if you're not an AJV client, please share your number so that we guys can come back to you and talk to you. And I promise you, we will not hound you to work with us or come to New Zealand, because it's not an easy thing. It requires money, time, effort, English, good health, good character, lots of things. So but do take the information from us, and if at the end of it all you think you are well placed to be able to take a shot at it, let's go for it together. Okay, cool. Sanjat Pare says he's an inquiry from YouTube, and it says I have mechanical background and 7 years experience in this field, but now I want to pursue electrical diploma in New Zealand. Is there any problem? My number, and I think he's shared this number already on top anyway. Hey, sounds good question actually, because it's I quite like what you're actually trying to do here, because you already are an electrical graduate and you have 7 years of experience, which is good. So it would make you into a reasonably good electrical engineer. And now you sorry, mechanical engineer, and now you want to add electrical on top of that, which I think is brilliant, because you already have your skills as and mechanical engineer, and if you want to add electrical on top of it, I think it makes a lot of sense, because then you would actually have two arrows to shoot at, if I can use a cliche, to hit the target, because you can use your mechanical arrow and you can use your electrical arrow as well. So I think it's a great addition, because they can't be too dramatically different from each other. But like I said, you've shared your number. We will get in touch with you, and we will get your details and share it with the institutions. And depending on the level of course you're going to apply for, the institution might require some additional documents or proof that you have some sort of grounding in electrical. But like I said, we'll have a discussion. But at the phase of it, I think it is a good decision for you to add an electrical on top of your mechanical. It's someone like me who is practicing only immigration law at this point. If I could add, well, let's say, civil law onto my profile, or criminal law onto my profile, I think it will widen my scope as a legal professional. So I'd say, yeah, it's a good call from your side. Wait for a call from our team, and please talk to them, and we would be delighted to give you all the information possible. And please bear in mind, we have a pretty big shortage of engineers across New Zealand, and mechanical, electrical, electronics, and pretty much chemical, pretty much every possible engineering field. So I think you will do really well. And, with support from AJV here locally in New Zealand, I think you will be really, really well placed to succeed in your endeavors. All right. And thanks for choosing us. Really appreciate it. Okay. Gaurav shares his number and says, I'm into stock market since 20 years. Any jobs? Gaurav, look, this is one of the most often asked questions, and which is why I have a YouTube channel called Arun Jacob. So if you go to YouTube and search by my name, you will actually find my channel. And one of my most popular videos is how do I find a job and settle down in New Zealand. And it's actually, I think, one of the most viewed videos on my channel. And in that, I clearly explain why it is almost impossible to find a job in New Zealand when you're not present here in the country. And that is the reason we encourage people to come into New Zealand and acquire education from a good quality institution here. Because if you're acquiring the right level of education, then you can potentially end up with a 3 years post-study work visa. And during that period, with your background and your experience, and also the fact that you have a local qualification from New Zealand, and you've also kind of gotten used to the environment in New Zealand, you would have created a network of people to go and approach for jobs. That's how you will succeed in finding a job, Gaurav. So I know, a lot of people, do not want to get back into education at this stage in their careers, because you say you already have 20 years of experience. But if that is the only option you have to be able to make a valid and legitimate and honest attempt at finding a job in New Zealand and settling down, well, I mean, that's your only option. And that is why, we recommend that it is. And worst case scenario, you come and study and you stay 3 years in New Zealand. At the least, you will earn back all the investment you have put into this particular course. You will go back with an international experience of 3 or 4 years. You'll go back with beautiful memories of a country like New Zealand, which I think is possibly the best destination on earth. And what more do you want? So I would say, which is the reason we as a company strongly advocate the education pathway, not only for the education in itself, but for all those of you who are desirous of finding jobs or wanting to migrate to New Zealand. I think it is a fantastic stepping stone. All right, cool. All righty. Next question is from Sumant. Says, if my course is in Hamilton Wintec, will I get part-time job in Hamilton? I see most of the jobs are in Auckland. Your number is, given, and you're in touch with Aniket. Hey, Sumant, first and foremost, don't worry about Hamilton and not, having adequate jobs here. I'm a Hamiltonian. I'm talking to you right now from Hamilton. If I look outside my window, that's Hamilton right outside. We're a good city, Mike. Don't worry about it. We are a growing city. We are. I think I was having a chat with our local member of parliament some time back, and he predicts that in the next 15, 20 years, Hamilton might go on to become the second largest city in New Zealand in terms of population. And the growth has been absolutely phenomenal. Where I'm sitting and talking to you guys right now is actually one of the new suburbs of Hamilton called North City. And I swear, 5 years back, it was nothing but just all empty fields. So we're growing pretty dramatically. And so Hamilton will continue to remain a very, very good choice. Not only for the future potential it has, the current potential it has, but also because we have two of the best institutions located here, which is the University of Waikato and the Waikato Institute of Technology, which is what you're considering. Plus, we also have the New Zealand Institute of Highway Technology, which is a part of the Western Institute of Technology in Taranaki, but that's also based here in Hamilton. So yeah, absolutely. Don't you worry, Sumant, my friend. Continue to speak to Aniket, and once you get here, we will network you to a lot of our students who are already here. And in fact, some of them end up getting 2, 3 jobs, and they're like, they ask us the other questions, saying, which one should I choose? And so they sometimes there's also a problem of plenty. So that's the way it is, Sumant. So don't worry, Hamilton is a good city, and I think you will do well to be here. Bear in mind that AJV is also headquartered in Hamilton, and we guys are always at your beck and call to support you with any assistance that you might require. All right, and thank you so much for choosing AJB. Really, really appreciate that. Okay. Okay, an employer asks, can you help student to find job in New Zealand, and is there no age limit for any job prospects? And if you're an AJB student, we will certainly assist you. In fact, this year we hope to do something a bit more concrete to be able to assist our students first. And if there is extra capacity, then we might, consider assisting other people as well, but on a paid basis. For AGV students, there's a lot of free services that we guys provide. But yeah, I mean, look, there's no age limit per se, so to speak, because it's you're only as old as you think you are. Although if you're post 60, it might be a little more difficult. But although I have seen who are post 60 as well, still working, quite robustly here in New Zealand. So yeah, don't worry too much about the age. Some of our oldest clients have been 50 plus, and they've come, they've studied, and they've settled down. So if you're one of our clients, don't worry, we will provide you with our support. If you're not one of our clients, you might want to think why you're not an HAB client, and you might want to reconsider your decision about coming to New Zealand through HAB only. All right, cool. Next, moving on. Vikramaditya Dekonda says, a very happy and progressive 2020 team HAB Global. Thank you so much, Vikram. Same to you and to your family. Really appreciate you, Mr. Arun, for all the great work you do in terms of publishing useful and relevant information pertaining to New Zealand immigration. Vikram, that is officially my first compliment for 2020. So thank you so much. You and I will go down in history together because that's my first compliment for 2020. But hey, look, thank you so much for your kind comments. I like doing this because I'm a migrant myself. I've gone through in fact, my, recently somebody for Christmas and New Year, somebody gifted me this. I don't know if you guys can look at this, but it's one of those games you play where, if if you're trying to take this rod, along the way, and then you touch it anywhere, and then you get that sound and the little flashing lights and stuff like that. So trust me, guys, migration is as tricky as this game because it's the twists and turns. There's so many factors and angles to consider, and which is why we like to get out there and. Oops, sorry, I better switch that off. So anyway, which is why we like to get out there and speak to you guys live and be honest about what exactly you can expect from New Zealand, from us, and generally because it's a life-changing decision when somebody decides to move from one country to the other end, which is why we want to be the most transparent, we want to be the most honest, and we want to be the most loyal company to New Zealand and to our clients and to our team as well to ensure that everybody is happy. Every stakeholder needs to be happy, including the institutions we work with and government departments like immigration department or education New Zealand, and everybody needs to be happy. So thank you, Vikram. I appreciate people like you noticing the kind of work we are doing, and I promise you we're going to come out with more and more live sessions this year because we're going to have more and more licensed advisors in the team, and plus I have a fantastic creative team here in New Zealand and Hamilton. And I promise you, we're going to come out with some really, really creative videos. All right. Okay. Thank you. Shamjir. Shamjir says, I tried to apply for study in New Zealand through AJV, but AJV couldn't help me, and I applied for Ireland, and now I'm in Ireland doing MSc in cloud computing. Hey, Shamjir, to begin with, many congratulations that you achieved your dream of going overseas, and I'm glad you went to a good country like Ireland. Yes, it is a competing country to New Zealand, but I bet even Ireland is a very nice country, and there's a very interesting fact between Ireland and New Zealand. I believe we are the only two countries on earth which do not have snakes, so which is fantastic. But hey, look, I don't know. I wouldn't have the details of when you approached us or why my team did not accept your case. But bear in mind, Shamjir, that we want to be, like I said, we want to be truthful and we want to work with clients in a very genuine fashion. And if our team, felt it for whatever reason that they could not take up your case, I'm sure there were valid reasons for that because a lot of our team members, especially all the team leaders, are all ex-immigration officers who work for the government of New Zealand and now are working with AJB, and so they must have in their own abilities of assessing an application decided not to take up your case, but that doesn't mean that you were not capable of going elsewhere. So many congratulations, and I wish you all the very best and a very happy new year. So, but I promise you there was no malice in not taking up your case or anything. It was, like I said, we don't want to take up cases where we feel that the client does not have a fair chance, and so we are not the kind of people who will take money knowing that their client does not have a fair chance. So probably the reason my team said no. But hey, look, good on you, Matt. You guys made it to Ireland, so all the very best. Okay, cool. Radio. Srikant Krishnamurthy says, Happy New Year 2020 wishes. Arun, thanks, Srikant. Same to you and your family as well. I'm sure applying for courses in July intake through HEB. Can you please share your insights on cost of expense differences between Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch. Shrikant, there wouldn't be a lot, to be honest. I mean, they will be kind of quite marginal. Auckland might be a little bit higher on the rents because Auckland is our largest city, and that's where a lot of our population ends up. But frankly, there wouldn't be, I mean, a dramatic difference. There is a very nice website, and I think it's called go to New Zealand Now .govt.nz, and there is actually a cost of living calculator. So the website is New Zealand Now NOW and the whole New Zealand .govt, which is government.nz. And if you go there, there's actually a nice little calculator which, if you input which city you're planning to go to and stuff like that, it actually tells you what's the cost of living. But I can tell you that there isn't a lot of difference from city to city. Even within Auckland, if for instance, live in something called South Auckland, or you go a little further away from the city center, then the rents can be quite cheap. And only, a couple of days ago, one of our students who lives in Auckland was telling me that, it's a lot cheaper if you go a little away from the center of the city. So don't worry, Srikant, the costs don't vary dramatically across New Zealand. By and large, they all remain the same. But like I said, do go to that website, New Zealand now.govt.nz, and I think you will definitely be able to get more information. Otherwise, speak to your AGV advisor, and he and you together, or she and you together, can also gather this information. All right, cool. Vikramaditya comes back and says, I'm interested in getting my profile assessed, and was the email address to send across my credentials. Hey, Vikram, all you've got to do is email it to immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com, or you can send it to info@ajvglobal.com, because I'm presuming, just from your name, that you're based in India. So we have licensed advisors in New Zealand, including myself and Mary. And we also have licensed advisors in India, and we also have one licensed advisor based in Malaysia. So, depending on which time zone you're in, I would strongly recommend that you. So if you're in India, I would say send your CV, and if you're also married, then also send us the CV of your spouse as well, because together then we can make an assessment and tell you if there is a possibility through the skill migrant pathway. If it is not, then we can recommend other pathways like the study and settle, because it works brilliantly well for couples as well as singles. So yeah, we'd be happy to take a look at your CV, Vikram. So I normally have a little board that I hold up. See, I came a little unprepared today for my session. Okay, there we are. Okay, guys, there's my little board which I hold up. I probably look like a guy about to go to jail and getting his mugshot taken at the police station, but that's my little board that I hold up. So those are our contact details. There is a toll-free number in India, toll-free number in New Zealand, and email addresses where you can contact either one of these offices. And I suggest and request to people in the respective time zones to contact that office, because we have licensed advisors everywhere. So you will get the same advice. And if you reach out to New Zealand, and because by this time most of us will be sleeping, except people like me. But yeah, that's probably the best thing for you to do. All right, cool. Okay. So the next question, quite a few questions today, guys. I really didn't expect. I was telling my team, I'm going to quickly get in and do a very quick session and get out and go back to being on my holiday. Hang on. Right. I'm also reading through the comments of my team to see if I have missed anything. Okay, now here's a good question. That's from Sushila Mendonca. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So she says she's inquiring for her daughter, who will complete her 12th by March 20. and result will be out by June, July 2020. Recommend so she is looking for a course in bachelors in marine biology for her daughter. And yes, hey Sushila, thank you for reaching out to us, and we would love to work with your daughter and help her. And what a beautiful course she is choosing. Marine biology and those kinds of areas are really, really in demand in New Zealand, because bear in mind we are a country of two main islands and a few other smaller islands. So we have sea all around us, which means marine biology is very, very important for us. And also we are very big on conservation, and we are very big on saving our marine ecosystems and things like that. So because of which I think it is a fantastic course for your daughter to pursue here in New Zealand. And so I think brilliant choice, and we would love to work with her. So if she is able to get her results, her final results, by June, we may be in a position, to try and get her on board for the next intake, which will be in July of 2020. But in case her results get delayed and all her documents from the university do not go, or I think if she's going to finish at 12, not university, but from the higher secondary board or whichever board she's applying for. If we can get those documents out as quickly as we can, then we may be able to bring her in by July. But if we can't, then the next intake will be in February of 2021, which is fine, because the if you're spending an extra 6 months in India, she would also be a bit more grown up and a bit more mature and be a bit more ready to handle life as an international student in a foreign country. But don't worry, once an AJV client, she will have this entire AJV team around her, all the AJV student network around her, and we will guide her. So stay in touch with our advisor Aniket, who is advising you at the moment, and keep us informed about her progress. But all I can tell you, Sushila, is great choice, and we would love to have a young person with those kind of skill sets to come into New Zealand. All right. Thank you very much. Right, I'm gonna switch back to Facebook. Okay, cool. So Ketan Rawal, hello sir, Ketan Rawal here from India, Gujarat. My wife had completed her BCA and she got 53 in PTE. So which course is best for to settle and get job in New Zealand? And if I come there on visitor visa, can I get job on visitor base? Okay, I'll answer your second question first. If you're on a visitor visa, Ketan, it is not a good idea for you to find a job here, because the meaning of the word visitor means that you're a visitor and you're not a worker. So for you to be able to do a job here in New Zealand, you'll need to have a work visa. So if your wife has got a PT of 53, I'm gonna quickly check to see how much that would be in terms of IELTS. So okay, so 53, you could potentially be looking. I'm doing a quick look here. Okay, I wish she had got a score of 58, because if she had got a score of 58 in PTE with no band score lower than 50, then potentially she could have applied for a master's degree here in New Zealand. And if she applies for a master's degree in New Zealand, then your problem gets resolved as well, because then you can apply for a work visa directly as a partner of somebody who is coming for a master's course here in New Zealand. So that's the reason I think, instead of trying to find shortcuts where she comes in, she's already completed a BCA, which is great. So she ideally should be going for a master's level course. She should look at a master's in computing. In fact, recently, one of the institutions we work with has launched a new program called Masters in IT, and I think it might suit her very well. So I think what you really need to consider, Ketan, is to encourage your wife to write her PTA again and get that score of 58, because she's already at 53. So it's not a lot of difference, a little bit more of preparation and, a bit more of commitment and dedication to the, cracking the exam, and I think she will go from 53 to 58. And please ensure she also doesn't get any band score lower than 50, because if that happens, then what you can do, because then pretty much everything is resolved for you guys, because then she can get into a master's, which will kind of complement her background as a who already has a bachelor's, and you can come directly on a work visa, and you don't have to indulge in all those underhand shenanigans like trying to find work on visitor visas and stuff like that. Because yeah, I mean, apparently people find work and do illegal work, but bear in mind it is illegal. And if at any point the government comes to know of illegal workers, that's it. That puts paid to all your aspirations of staying back here in New Zealand. So, which is why we do not encourage it, and it's not something that we want to see happening here in New Zealand, because we have our own local population and our own workers, and we need to protect their interests as well. So, people coming on visitors visas should not be working on while they're here in New Zealand. Instead, take my suggestion, encourage your wife to write her PTE again. And you haven't shared your number, so share your number, and one of our team members will get in touch with you, and we'll give you a good pathway, which is legitimate, which is good, and which resolves all the concerns that you have, and most importantly, it is legal. All right, so that's my recommendation to you. Okay, Doug. Hey. Okay, so Shamjir has come back and written something else again. And so he writes, Shamjir says, I tried to apply for study in New Zealand through AJV, but AJV couldn't help me. And I applied for Ireland. And now I'm in Ireland doing MSc in cloud computing. So I would like to see if it is still possible to apply for New Zealand. Okay, Shamjir, I got some notes after I completed answering you from my team. And my team tells me that, they received information that there was some prejudicial information about you, which was the decline letter mentioned that that there was potentially prejudicial information around you, and because of that, we obviously didn't get deeper into what this information was, because that is obviously information that's privy to the immigration department. But like I said, because I think that was the reason my team did not take it up. But if you're still keen to look at it, I'd say get back in touch with whoever was your advisor, and we will take a look at it one more time. All right. Thank you. Okay. So, Srikant, I've also answered your question. There won't be a lot of big differences. So, yeah, don't worry too much about that. Ankit Wagela, my friend and an AJB client, says, Happy New Year, AJB team. Thank you, Ankit. Same to you. I have a potential opportunity in pipeline for the position of data privacy consultant. Will INZ treat it as a non-IT role? Wish the AJB funnel a more prosperous new year ahead. Hey, Ankit, same to you, my friend. And thank you so much for being one of our biggest supporters. You come online without fail for each of our live sessions, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us for each of the sessions. Many congratulations on being offered the position of data privacy consultant, which sounds fantastic, and it sounds like an IT kind of thing. But what I would suggest is, because you're an AJB client, which means you will get unlimited immigration advice and free. So email that details of the position to Mary, to immigration advisor, or just give Mary a call on the 0800 number, which is 0800 696977. And of course, today she's already finished and gone away. But from Monday, again, she and the rest of the local team in New Zealand will be back at work. So give her a call on Monday and share the, because, for us, it is not so much the title of the position that matters, but it's actually the description of the position. That's what helps us to ascertain whether it is an IT position or not. And like I said, hey, look, you're an AJB student, so you are entitled to your free advice and unlimited. So get in touch with Mary on Monday, and we will be able to sort it out. Okay. Then you have a wonderful 2020 as well. Very happy to see the way you're going at. I'm sure you'll crack a really, really good job and fulfill your dreams of becoming a very productive migrant for New Zealand and for your own progress as an individual and professional. All right. Thanks, Ankit. Right. So the Singh. Okay, it's Chutar Singh. Okay, that doesn't sound. I hope I'm pronouncing it the right way. He says he's shared his number, so I'm sure one of our team members will get in touch with him. Sushila's question, which I had already answered, and so she's asking another follow-up question. Sushila asking if is asking is marine biology on the job shortage list? Which are the best unis for an undergrad degree in marine biology? How many years after an undergrad degree one can work? Okay, Sushila, I think. I'm not sure if marine biologist is actually on the skill shortage list, but that's not anything. It's not a concern. I think a lot of people look at the long-term skill shortage list and say, "Oh, I want to do a course only from that," and they think that doing a course from that is somehow going to help them have a bigger advantage. I'm not saying there are no advantages. There are certain advantages, but at the same time specialized. To the best of my knowledge, marine biologists are not on the long-term skill shortage list, but I can quickly do a check and I'll try and bring up the latest information so that I'm giving you the most up-to-date information. Give me just a moment and I can confirm that to you. All right, let's see if we can find. Right. Now, I just did a quick search from the latest long-term skill shortage list. Sushila and marine biologist is not on it. But like I said, don't be too stressed about having to get only into a course that is on the long-term skill shortage list because a marine biologist in itself is such a specialized field, and I think sure your child will do well. And once somebody does an undergraduate course degree here, they'll get a 3 years post-study work visa, which is fantastic and the best universities, it could be, we'll have to look to see which particular university has got the specific course and papers that your daughter is looking for. But, all New Zealand universities are very, very highly rated. And more than likely, you will find something at Lincoln University or University of Canterbury or Waikato or any one of these good universities or AUT. So, yeah, we'll look forward to assisting your daughter. All right, so Shilan, don't worry too much about the skill shortage list because it really doesn't have much of a bearing sometimes. Okay, Anne Employer team, tell me if Anne is somebody we are working with already. And an employer is it somebody we are working with? Okay, because Anne's asking that. And if you're already in touch with my team, please confirm that. If you're not, please share your contact number, and we'll be very happy and delighted to assist you with your, thing of taking it forward and studying criminology at 80, which sounds like a great course to do. And if I had a chance, I probably would study criminology all over again, thanks to a very large dose of Perry Mason when I was growing up. But yeah, sounds like a fantastic course to do. And AUT is a wonderful university, and we would love to assist you with it. And your concern seems to be whether you're too old. You're asking a 51-year-old man whether 37 is very old. Seriously, and no, absolutely not. 37 is here in New Zealand. I think it's very, very young. We would call you a spring chicken. That's what we call young people here. So don't worry about it. Get in touch with our team, and I hope you're already in touch with the team. None of my team has confirmed yet whether you're in touch with them, but yeah, we will be delighted to work with you, and I'd love to have a student doing criminology, and you could possibly have some nice discussions around it when you reach New Zealand. All right, and so yeah, please do get in touch with us. Right, Anirudh Ayagari. says, hello, Arun, sir. Happy New Year. Thank you, Anirudh. Same to you and to your family. I'm an AJV client. Woohoo. That's the kind of people I really, really like. And I've got my AIP in Master of Analytics from IUT. Congratulations, Anirudh. That's fantastic news. What great news for the new year. Sir, I have bachelors in mathematical and computational sciences and also have a review paper in data mining. Is there a scope for me in the field of analytics? I'll answer that question in one word, Anirudh. Absolutely. I think, what you're choosing to do in analytics is the future, Anirudh, not just in New Zealand, but I think everywhere else. In New Zealand, we are trying to, grow our IT industry by leaps and bounds. And well, you'd be a very, very highly sought after professional once you finish your course and you get your 3 years post study work visa. I think you would be very well placed. So let go of all your insecurities. Do not worry about it. I give you my word. There's great potential for the course and the future once you complete it. And you're also going to a fantastic university like AUT. And yes, you will always have AJV and the team and all our AJV network of students who will also give you lots of nice inputs. And I promise you, you will do very, very well. So, yeah, all the very best. Look forward to seeing you here shortly. And thank you so much for choosing AJV. Sandeep asked me, do I have Indian chef jab? No, Sandeep, I don't. But you know what? Chefs are somebody we, are in shortage here in New Zealand. So if you are a good chef and you want to consider coming to New Zealand and finding employment as a chef, then share your number and one of our team members will, get in touch with you and explain to you how we could possibly take it forward from there. And I can. I have also got your confirmation and employer. That is, I got confirmation from Mubaraka, who is your advisor in AJB, that you are indeed working with us. Your name did sound familiar. I think you come before as well onto some of my live sessions and ask me questions. So your name did sound familiar, but Mubaraka just confirmed that you are in touch with her and that she has already applied for your master's in criminology and on December 11th, and we are awaiting the offer. The university people will be back very, very shortly from their Christmas and New Year break. And soon as they're back, you should have your offer and we should be able to take it forward. All right. Again, you're one of my favorites now too. Now that I know that you're also an AGV client. Shamal Parekh writes, explaining the immigration process with reference to the toy was probably the best part of today's life. Happy New Year! Oh, there you go. So Shamal, for your benefit, there I'm doing it one more time. I keep telling people that I actually missed my real calling in life. I wanted to be a filmmaker, guys. I swear, when I was 21, all I wanted to be was to be a filmmaker, and yeah, but my destiny had its own twists and turns, and because of which I am now a licensed immigration advisor. But who knows? I've never let go of that dream to be a filmmaker, and hopefully, if my wonderful team all tells me, you know what, we don't need you any longer, you go away, make your movies, and we will take care of work. I'll more than happily make a movie. But I meant say, oh, and which is why I try to throw in some creativity into my live sessions, because all that frustration and creativity that's locked up inside me has to come out somewhere. So I guess this is the closest I'll ever come to making a movie in my current circumstances. So which is why, yeah, sorry guys, I do a little bit of dramas and a little bit of, I throw in some spices here and there. But thanks, Shavel, for acknowledging my little toy trick today. One of my kids gifted it to me, saying, I see you sitting at the table throughout the day. Maybe if you get bored, you can play with it. So that's the reason it's sitting on my table. All right. Right. Vinay Gopikumar says, hi, sir. New Year wishes. I'm an AJB client. Hey, Vinay. Happy New Year to you and to your family as well. And thank you so much for confirming you're an AJV client. We absolutely love all of you for choosing to work with AJV, and you have applying for the Feb intake, filing visa in January. Is it does it a wise option or not? Well, I mean, I'm not sure what your question really is. If you're asking whether the timing to file your uh, visa is it too late to file in January? Absolutely not, because I think Immigration New Zealand is really working very fast on their turnaround on applications, and we have seen a dramatic improvement in the way they are processing student visas. So I think that's absolutely not a problem, and I'm sure we should be able to get you here on time. And or if your question is whether it's a wise decision to come to New Zealand or not, okay, well, you're asking a guy who's lived in New Zealand for the last 20 years, and trust me, I wouldn't go to any other place on earth. And yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying it to sell my services or or to no, it's just the fact. Would not prefer to live anywhere else on earth except in New Zealand. I love this place, and I think it provides some of the best um, environment, for an individual, whether it is a single person or a married person with kids, or yeah, it's just offers just so many different things for people, and it's just that some people with not enough talents also do somehow end up coming to New Zealand, and they do crib about New Zealand because they obviously don't have the caliber to compete in an environment like New Zealand and get to the right positions. But trust me, all our AJB clients are doing exceptionally well, and they make me so proud, and the rest of the team. So I think, yeah, you guys are doing the right thing by coming to New Zealand. But we understand as a company that you will require guidance and assistance and advice even after you reach New Zealand, and that's why we are creating a whole new, I think we're creating a whole dramatic new twist to this entire industry, because we are probably the only company that's promising continuous continuous support and uninterrupted support, and free advice throughout your entire journey till you guys reach your goals in New Zealand. So yeah, I don't think you are wrong in your choice of filing for your visa now in January or in choosing New Zealand. Okay, take my word for it. Like I said, once you come here and you spend a few months, you will see exactly what I mean. All right, cool. Arun Francis, it's always good to say hello to another Arun. Hi, Arun. Hello, sir. My wife has got accepted for level 9 course in Auckland. Is there any scope for spouse visa maybe after 6 months if she applies? Arun, I'm not sure if you have applied, if your wife has. Yeah, so see, I mean, I'm also trying to see if my team confirms whether your wife. I'm not sure if your wife is one of our clients, Arun, but if she's one of our clients and if she's coming to New Zealand through AJV, then yeah, don't worry about your spouse visa. We provide that support to all our students and to their spouses as well. And touch wood, but we have been very, very successful with our spouse visa. So we, in fact, are uh, so successful that some people whose visas, spouse visas, got declined because they applied to some other agencies or companies have could then later come back to us, and we analyzed and assessed, and we gathered more documentation and put it, and um, help them to get their visa. So you have not mentioned if your wife is one of our clients, Arun, but if she is, great, then you have nothing to worry about. If she is not, then you've shared your number. One of my colleagues will get in touch with you, and we will help you out. But I really wish your wife is an AJB client, because even she will realize once she comes here that they require a lot of support when they come as an international student, and that is something that we offer all our students and clients, including spouses. So yeah, I hope she's an AJB client. Well, if she's not, if there is time, maybe you guys can switch and work with us. But if you can't, well, too bad. But we can hopefully work with you and help you to with your spouse visa. All right, cool. All right, man, it's tiring. Okay, this was completely unexpected. I thought I was going to be here for 10, 15 minutes tops and then wind up and then go back to my holiday mode. But you guys are bad. You're holding me back for an entire hour. Oh, no, I was just kidding. I love talking to all of you. Okay. So Shiba Solomon asks, what's your opinion about tool making or technical job opportunities in New Zealand? Excellent, Shiba. Excellent. If you do anything and to do with technical, with where your hands are involved, and you're absolutely brilliant. In fact, about a couple of months ago, I went to this institution, and which is not too far away in a town called Rotorua, and I went to the Toyo Homoi Institute of Technology, and they took us to one of their campuses, which is a little away from the main campus. And I was fascinated to see a lot of young Indian students doing. It was a course in wood manufacturing, and part of that course also involved how to make the saw, the band saw, which actually helps to cut the wood and stuff like that. And this kids were absolutely at it, and we had a guided tour of the entire facility, and we went around, and I was very fascinated. And the person who was taking us around told us that the employability is very, very high once they complete this course, because the demand is so high from the forestry industry. Likewise in tool making or die making, and those kinds of things. So I think we've always found exceptionally good outcomes for students who have done technical courses like this. So thanks for sharing your number, Shiba. One of our team members will get in touch with you, and we will analyze and see I mean, especially a young lady who is wanting to do a course, technical. I think it's a brilliant combination, because New Zealand is also a country which is very gender neutral. So we have no bias whatsoever, saying that, oh, women shouldn't be doing particular things, or only men should be doing certain things. Absolutely not. So if it's for yourself, Shiba, yeah, strongly encourage you to speak to us, and we would love to help you. We are in fact a very women strong company in AGB. We are almost 40 people, but I think there are only 4 or 5 guys in the entire company. So we are pretty badly outnumbered by the women folk in AGB. So we are all on our best behavior when we meet, so that we don't get pushed to a corner and thrashed by all the women in our team. So that's how it is. But hey, look, great choice. Speak to our team, and we will see what's the best we can suggest for you. All right. Cool. Okay, Otumba Idris says, "Hey Aaron, I sent you an email, but I have not been responded to." Hey, Idris, I just came back from my Christmas, New Year break. You can probably still see the big jaws from all the drinking over the Christmas, New Year. So my New Year resolution was to, cut down on my drinking and only drink on days that end with a Y. Okay, so that's my New Year resolution. Figure that out. But I will be attending to all my emails shortly, and hopefully you'll get your response very soon. Okay. Prashant Singh shares his number and asks scope of software engineer in New Zealand. Excellent, my friend. Excellent, Prashant. Please come and study software engineering in New Zealand, because we are desperately short of people to come and join our IT industry. We are trying very hard to grow our IT industry, but we don't have adequate number of people, which is why information technology is in our long-term skills shortage list. So, yeah, absolutely. Any IT engineer, software engineer who will come and to New Zealand either directly or through the pathway of education, fantastic opportunities going forward. And don't listen to all those doomsday people, all those people who make videos and put up on YouTube saying, "Oh, but there are no opportunities in New Zealand." First and foremost, if you listen to all those, I call them the low quality people. They normally don't make these videos in English. They normally make these videos in their local vernacular. And so there itself, there is a problem, because there are people who are not competent in English. So one thing is, of course, having technical skills, and when you come to New Zealand, like your software engineering. But the other thing, and the soft skills are equally important as well. How well presented you are, your English skills. Are you somebody who can hold a conversation in the middle of a group? Are you going to be a team player? All those kinds of things are pretty important as well. So if you're a software engineer with also, good soft skills, I think you will do well. And if you come to New Zealand through a company like HEB, then of course, you will also have the benefit of having a company that will support you, advise you, and network you and help you to reach your destination. All right. So do get in touch with us. Wait for a contact from my team, Prashant, and we will take it forward from there. Okay, there's a question from Rebel Rebel Rajkumar. Nice name, Rebel Rebel Rajkumar. Who are you rebelling against, Raj? Okay, so he's asked me a question, but he has not shared his number, nor has he confirmed whether he is an AJV student or not. So Rebel, you'll have to share your number, my friend, or confirm if you're an AJV student. All right, and if you're an AJV student, please let me know who is your advisor as well, so that I can also get some information from him or her before I reply back to you. Right. So what are we? How are we doing on time? Oh, it's 11:30, but I can't see my bell. My bell's disappeared somewhere. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and maybe my team has also not told me that it's time up yet, which means they decided they're going to punish me today after 10 days of holidaying, guys. This is not fair. Syed Qasim Abbas asked a question about PAR, which is an NZQA thing, but he has not mentioned why he has applied and for what reason. So Nirosh is asking a question. He says, "Hi, Nirosh Amara Singhe. Yeah, has to be a Sri Lankan. Ayabova Nirosh. Happy New Year as well. I'm applying a student visa from you. Thank you very much for choosing AJB. Much appreciated, my friend. But how is the accommodation and airport pickup? What is the support from the team onshore? I found that my University Lincoln website says they provide accommodation to the students who book the accommodation, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Nirosh, you know what? A lot of institutions do offer a free airport pickup. Accommodation is never free, so I don't know why you are assuming that accommodation is free. Certain institutions give accommodation, but they build that cost into the fee, so it's not really free accommodation. So that's the way it is. But you know what? We have an onshore support coordinator called Anjana. Anjana is one of our existing students who works, who is studying a postgraduate course in marketing, but she's already started working for AGB, and she takes care of all the queries like the ones that you have, Nirosh. Don't worry too much about it. The airport pickup and all those things, Anjana will get in touch with you, or you can discuss with her as well. And So just send an email to Anjana, or ask your whoever your advisor is to give you Anjana's email address, and you can connect with her. So she'll tell you about the accommodation and if there's any airport pickup from the university. As regards what support you will get from us, you will get unlimited immigration advice. You will get any other advice that you guys require in terms of when you come in and you're settling in. We'll help you, of course, with networking with some more of our AJP students. And I think the most important support is that you continuously get unlimited and free immigration advice, which means at each and every step you can call and say, hey, look, I'm an AJP client. I found this job. What do you think? Is this good enough for me to get a resident visa or not? Da da da. Whatever else you have in terms of your queries, and more than anything else, you will have our friendship as well, Nirosh. And we go around from city to city and host lunches and dinners for our students, and we create those networking opportunities. So yeah, you're welcome to the AJV family, or as we call it, it's called the AJV Whānau, which is a beautiful word in Maori, which means family. So once you come and become part of the AJV Whānau, don't you worry, we'll take care of you, my friend. Cool. Okay. And now my team tells me, after I remind them that I am tired, that my time is up. All right. Okay, guys. Okay. There's nothing else from my team other than telling me that time's up. So I'm going to quickly scroll through. Sanjay says, oh, Sanjay says, perfect, Arun. Happy New Year. Sid always told me a lot about you. Keep the pace, boss. Thanks, Sanjay, and a very, very happy New Year to you. And to everybody else to whom I could not answer today. And Anand, my fantastic friend. He is the biggest bodybuilder in the AJV family. Anant is like one big, massive guy. And I think he was actually a national champion either weightlifting or bodybuilding. I don't quite remember. But hey, Anant, lovely to see you. Happy New Year. Safras asks, how can I get work permit? Just rewind. What's this entire, a live session once it becomes a video? Safras, and you should get the answer. Navneet has asked some questions. Right, but you guys, Navneet and Himadri, have not sent us, shared their contact numbers, so I will not be able to answer that right now. Also because time's up for today. But hey, look, Navneet and Himadri, my team will get in touch with you. We're on Facebook, and so please kindly share your contact numbers, and we will take it forward from there. But hey, people, thank you very much for patiently. I can see there's 43 people still watching it, so which isn't bad at all. Which means I'm able to sustain the interest of people. So hey, look, once again, a very, very happy new year to everybody, to all our fantastic clients who are already in New Zealand and those overseas who are planning to come to New Zealand. Fantastic new year to my wonderful team. I love you guys, and we have a big mission ahead, so let's get up for it. But yeah, thank you everybody for just for being part of AJV in whatever manner, and we will stand by you and continue to give the same honest, open, and friendly advice week after week. So look forward to our next session. We are about to launch our rock star, by the way. We have one of my colleagues called Navya, who was become a. She's probably already biting her nails and and tension because I'm now putting it out there publicly. But yeah, Navya is going to start her, make a debut also as a licensed advisor. Tulika already comes live, and Mary does, and hopefully Sharon will also start sometime soon. All right, but you know what? As always, a big thank you, and please share this video with your family and friends. And a fantastic 2020 to everybody. Good night.